Welcome to the File Maintenance Generation presentation, Part 3 of the PxPlus 2023 video series. In this video, we will generate web pages that will provide file maintenance for some of the tables in the database. To start, we will need to create a Nomads screen library. While we aren't using Nomads directly, we are going to use the Nomads toolset to create the pages. Under the Graphical Application Builder section, in the IDE, select the option Create Application Library. Select the data directory, then enter the library name as screenlib.en. Press Open to create. Once created, the system will display the object selection screen. If you had any pages, you could select the panel to make changes. Since this is a new library, nothing will be displayed. Click the File Maintenance button and you will be prompted for the name of the page to create. We will call our page Products. The first time you create a file maintenance panel, you will be asked to define where you want the system to save the creation settings template. Press Yes to accept the default file. The File Maintenance Generator will display an informational screen. Press Next to proceed. Step 1 allows you to define some basic options for the page. Enable the HTML file option in the type of file to create. Since this is the first page being created, the system will confirm with you the location you want the HTML page to be placed. We will go ahead and accept the default location in the page's subdirectory. We can now select the table that we want to maintain, Products. Once selected, the system will generate a page title consisting of the table name, followed by the word Maintenance. The system will use a standard object to maintain the page settings. In order to override these settings, we will need to create a custom object. We will call this object Settings. While not needed for this demo, often, in a real application, you may need to add some custom logic when records are added, changed, or deleted. Specify an HTML interface program on this screen for custom logic. Check our online help for details. Advancing to Step 2, we have the option to select various behaviors aspects of the page. For example, we will enable the option to clear the input fields when creating a new record. When selecting a record and we enter a key to a non-existent record, we want to be asked if we want to create a new record. In addition, we want an acknowledgement displayed when a new record is created or a record is updated. In the next step, we define aspects of the screen layout. While the screen placement is not used on web pages, you can choose where you want the various action and browse buttons to be placed. We will leave the default settings. Step 4, which defines control display settings, is used primarily for Nomad screen generation. We will accept the default settings for these. In Step 5, the keys used to access the record can be adjusted. For this example, the product file, the default key of product code is correct. The next step is where we start to lay out the actual page we want. This is done by dragging field elements on the left to either the left or right column in the grid. Since we want to use folders to separate the fields, we will click on the Folder checkbox. This will enable the folder option and name fields. Clicking the Folder option button will allow you to select the type of folder tab to be used. We will choose Web Tabs for our site. Start by dragging the product name over to the left column in the grid. This will place the name directly below the product code on the main portion of the web page. Change the tab name to Description. This will define the first folder. Now drag the description to the left side of the grid, and the vendor, scale, and product line to the right side. Finally, change the tab name to Accounting, then drag the rest of the fields to the left column of the grid. Select Next to advance to the summary page. Since we would like all maintenance pages to work the same, we will save our settings as the default template. You can have multiple templates. We are going to call this one Default and set it as the default template. In the summary screen, you can review your settings before generating the page. If needed, you can go back to prior steps and make changes. When you click Finish, the system will save your screen definition and generate your web page. A message box will be displayed. It shows which items in the screen library were updated and the name of the HTML file that was created. While here, we will also create a maintenance page for the product line. Enter the page name, Prod Line. Click OK. We confirm that we want to generate an HTML page. Select the product line table. Since we created a default template, the generator has saved our settings. This allows us to directly go to step 6, field selection. We are only going to bring over the text description in this instance. Advance to the summary page and select Finish. Let's open a browser so we can see the generated pages in action. Enter the address of our web server. A question mark starts the parameter list consisting of the variable name $, equals products. Our new product screen will allow you to enter a product code and edit the values in the various fields. Using the buttons, you can browse through the product records. Clicking on the tab name will switch folders to display the groups of fields you chose when the page was created. You can make changes to the fields, then press right to update the table. Press Delete to remove a record. Now, rather than having to enter a URL for each of your pages, you can have Webster place links on the left sidebar. Select Setup from the sidebar, followed by the Links option from the top menu. You will now be able to define new links to appear on the left edge sidebar menu. Enter the word Products in the first empty line. This will be the text to appear on the sidebar. In the second column, choose the security class required to run the selection. Any is for users signed on the system. Not on is for visitors that have not signed on. Under the window column, indicate if you want the same window to be used when the selection is run, or if a new window or tab is to be created. Under Action, select Web Page. And under Associated Name, enter Products, the web page name. If you don't want this to appear below Setup, you can move this option by dragging the line to its desired position using the 3 bars in the first column. We can now repeat this procedure for the other page we want to add, Prod Line, and drag it up to where we want it displayed. Note that you can also add a line whose text consists of 3 or more dashes to insert a separator to the list of options. Press Save to update the sidebar links. Clicking on a link will launch the specified web page. This completes our file maintenance generation video. Be sure to watch the other videos in this series to see how you can build on these pages to provide a full-featured online application.